A man recounts the night the sky tore open and a merciless female alien warrior stepped into the city with a blade in her hand and a message meant for the entire world. As fear spreads from streets to studios, she forces her way onto the airwaves, turning a human broadcast into her own ruthless announcement. With soldiers breaking, civilians running, and a few desperate survivors searching for any weakness, the narrator is pulled closer and closer to the center of her violent speech, where every word feels like a trap and every pause feels like a threat. Chapter 1. The sky split over our city. My name doesn't matter. What matters is that I was there when the night changed its rules. It started with a low hum, like a power station failing, spreading across the skyline. Birds slammed into windows. Streetlights dimmed, then flared too bright. People stepped onto balconies holding phones, trying to turn fear into content. Then the clouds opened. Not like lightning, not like weather. The sky tore like fabric, and something on the other side looked down at us with a cold, steady glow. Cars stopped. Traffic lights blinked all directions at once. Sirens began before anyone knew why. I was working late at a local station, doing a routine voice track. I remember thinking, for a stupid second, that it was some kind of military test. And then she arrived. She didn't fall. She didn't stumble. She walked out of the air itself, as if the world had been waiting for her footsteps. Tall, armored, calm. Her face was not masked, and she didn't look confused or curious. She looked certain. In her right hand was a long blade. In her left, a smaller knife that caught the streetlight like a moving shard of ice. People ran. A police line formed. Orders were shouted. She didn't hurry. She simply turned her head, as if listening to a song none of us could hear, and she started toward the noise. Chapter 2. She took the microphone. The first mistake we made was thinking she wanted to talk. She wanted to own the room. By the time she reached our building, the lobby was already wrecked. Glass everywhere. A security guard whimpering behind a planter. The air smelled like burned wiring. I crouched behind a desk with 2 other staff members, watching her cross the floor. She didn't search. She didn't check corners. She knew where we were by the way fear holds its breath. A technician tried to bargain. He raised his hands, voice cracking, offering access, offering anything. She pressed the flat of her knife under his chin and lifted until he was forced to look at her. Her voice was smooth and sharp, clear enough to cut through the alarms. "This planet is loud," she said in perfect English. "So I will be louder." She guided us like furniture, not people. She pointed with the knife. We moved. She stopped. We froze. She learned the building in minutes, not by exploring it, but by forcing it to obey. Then she found the studio. She stepped onto the stage, looked into the main camera, and nodded once as if approving the angle. She tapped the microphone. The sound boomed and squealed. "Good," she said. "Now it reaches all of you." I stayed off camera, behind a curtain, my chest tight. I was a narrator. My job was to speak. But the voice the world was about to hear was hers. Chapter 3. The cruel speech begins. The red light blinked. We were live. She stood straight, knife in hand, the longer blade resting against her forearm like it belonged there. Her eyes didn't flicker. She didn't blink like a nervous politician. She stared like a judge. "My name is not for your mouths," she began. "Your mouths are for breathing, if I allow it. I know how to read a room. I know how to hear an audience, even when I can't see them." That night, the audience was a whole city holding its breath. "You built towers to touch your clouds," she continued. "You built weapons to pretend you are safe. You built screens to lie to yourselves. You are proud of noise." She lifted the knife and drew a slow line through the air. "This is a correction." She explained it plainly, like a cruel teacher. Her kind had watched us, measured us, decided we were dangerous, not because we were strong, but because we were reckless. We burned, we expanded, we fought each other and called it progress. "You do not need a leader," she said. "You need a limit." Then she delivered the part that made my hands go numb. "There will be a count," she said. "Not for mercy, for order. When the count ends, those who kneel will be sorted. Those who stand will be cut. No poetry, no riddle, just the simplest words for the simplest terror." Behind the camera, one of our producers whispered, "Is this real?" She turned her head without moving her body. "Yes," she said, "and you will help me prove it." Chapter 4. Proof, Blood, and Silence. She didn't rant. She demonstrated. The feed cut to a shaky outdoor camera. Someone had dragged a portable rig to the street. The city was chaos. Smoke, flashing lights, people sprinting in every direction. She walked into frame like the storm's comm center. A soldier tried to raise his rifle. Another screamed for him to hold fire. Their fear couldn't agree on a plan. She crossed the distance with steady steps. When the soldier finally fired, the shots sparked off her armor like rain on metal. She didn't flinch. She reached him, grabbed the barrel, and shoved it aside as if it weighed nothing. The knife rose and fell in one clean motion. He dropped. The camera shook. Someone vomited off-screen. Her voice stayed even, as if she was describing the weather. "Your weapons are brave when your hands are not," she said. "Your courage breaks before your bones do." Then she turned slightly, addressing every home, every hiding place. "Listen carefully. I am not here to negotiate. I am here to reduce." She spoke about taking infrastructure first: power, water, communication. Not to destroy the planet, but to control it. She didn't want ashes. She wanted obedience. "You will learn a new law," she said. "When you hear my step, you stop. When you see my blade, you lower your eyes. When you are ordered to kneel, you kneel." I wanted to believe someone would interrupt the signal, jam it, cut her off. But she had already planned for that. She glanced at the technicians in the van and smiled without warmth. "Try to silence me," she said, "and I will make silence the only thing you have left." Chapter 5. The Ultimatum to the World. Back in the studio, she stood closer to the microphone. I could see small scratches on her armor now, sparks of human effort that meant nothing. "I will make this simple," she said. "You love simple." She set the terms like a contract written in steel. At a certain hour, every major city would hear the same sound, a signal from above. After that, any organized resistance would be treated as a disease. Any shelter that hid fighters would be opened. Any broadcast that lied would be ended. She didn't threaten with anger. She threatened with certainty. Then her attention shifted, and I realized she wasn't only speaking to civilians. She was speaking to leaders, generals, anyone thinking about a counterattack. "You will want a symbol," she said. "A moment to stand up and feel human again." She raised the knife so the studio lights ran along its edge. "Here is your symbol," she said. "A blade. Honest. Final. It does not debate." She leaned toward the camera. "Kneel, and you may live long enough to be useful," she said. "Stand, and I will show you what your bravery costs." In the silence that followed, I heard myself breathing too loudly. I hated that she could turn even breathing into something that sounded guilty. She stepped back from the microphone. "And now," she said, "we begin the count." Chapter 6. The Witness and the Blade. They forced the narrator to speak, but that narrator was me. She pointed at me with the knife and told me to step into the light. My legs moved like they belonged to someone else. The camera framed us together, her calm, my shaking, her certainty, my fear. "Tell them what you see," she ordered. My throat tightened. I looked at the lens and understood, in a sick, clear way, that millions could be watching. My voice was my job, and now my voice was her tool. I described her as she stood there. The armor, the blade, the way she looked at us like we were a resource. She listened like an editor, waiting for mistakes. When I faltered, she lifted the longer blade, the sword-like weapon, and set it near my shoulder. Not cutting. Not yet. Just letting me feel the promise of it. "Clear language," she said softly. "Easy words. You understand that, don't you?" I swallowed and nodded. She turned back to the camera and spoke again, slower now, as if savoring the control. "This is how your world ends," she said. "Not with mystery, not with magic, but with a simple choice made by frightened people." She raised the knife. "And the frightened always choose wrong. I won't lie to you. I wanted to close my eyes. But I kept them open because I needed to know what she would do next. And because if you're listening right now, you deserve the truth of what it felt like to stand beside her while she spoke like an executioner giving directions." The count continued, and the city answered with sirens, footsteps, and prayers that sounded like static. If you want the next story like this one, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, hit the like button, comment what you think would happen next, and share this video with anyone who loves scary sci-fi horror narratives.